change this button.
Yes, welcome everyone. Good to see you, Professor Mimi.
Thank you. Good to see you. I've literally
Oh,
put my head down as you were commenting because normally, I like to wrap it all up, etc. And maybe I was
at
swimming
work
yesterday,
for
so I
what?
probably have that glow after I swim
Yeah, well, oh, did you swim today?
yesterday, over the
Oh,
weekend.
okay, well,
Oh, Saturday, actually.
Sunday,
Saturday, 2 days ago.
Sunday. Well,
And of
good
course, the steam, the everything, it
Saturday.
helps.
You're glowing. You are glowing.
It does help.
Amazing.
How are you there?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy I'm here. I've been away, as you know, for a couple of days. I
Yes.
came back yesterday and it was good. It was good. You know, people, I want to talk about people. You people,
Yeah.
if you're hearing me, listen well. I went to Perth for work. We were at the expo. We got this, this space there and all that station. And I was showing people talking about our Miss Deborah Dinkinson is here. Hello. She made it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm late.
That's
She
all right. We're
made it.
here.
Good to see you, gorgeous. I was just talking about what happened when I was away, and I was talking about my insurance that I sell. That people should come to our share. They should come to our station at in
Yeah.
Perth with the expo. We were at the expo. I don't know if you see it. Anyway, few people jump on, and then I went to a shop. I held a bag, and I 1,200 people they were attracted to the bag. When I'm doing my business, no one cares.
I
But
was
when
one
you
of them.
when when I brought this vein thing, a vein like little bag, and the whole place blew up. People were like, "You must buy. You need to buy. You need to." What is it about people that they don't even care about something that is seriously meaningful and building, but things that are petty, like my bag? Anyway, I bought the bag for your information.
We don't want to know how much it costs because, well, if you
I,
bought it, that's good, and you must be happy.
I have to buy it. The pressure was too much.
Yeah.
Don't 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 tell my husband that I did it. He didn't know.
Oh no! Oh no! And could I say
Yeah,
anybody who told you to buy the bag, they should also buy the insurance policy from you as well.
Yes, yes.
That's all I
seriously.
can say.
Seriously, you're very right. You're very right.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just
Yeah.
saying
So
that.
otherwise, you had a great weekend.
Say again.
Otherwise, you had a great weekend.
Yeah, very, very good. Very, very. Perth was beautiful. The sunshine was amazing. It was fantastic. People, food,
Right.
everything. So we went everything. And my cousin, thank you. My cousin gave us a car that we were using, AMG convertible, for the
That's
whole
good.
duration. I was just cruising. That car feels good, really good. There's difference between cars. Anyway, but so thank you to you if you watch the show for doing that. We enjoyed ourselves. We were cruising all over Perth, by the way. We
That's
worked
good.
hard and then we played hard. I was happy.
You
Yeah, so
played
it's good to
harder.
be back. Good to be back. And how
That's
have
good.
you been? Let me start from Prof. How have you been?
Oh,
I
it's
can
been
see you.
good. As you know, it's the teaching semester, so your head is down, writing, reading, engaging, and just seeing the next steps and see people enjoy what you're doing. I think for me, that is where I get my energy. Then over the weekend, I had a 21st to attend, but I also had
You
something I
came.
needed to do for myself. Organize my jewelry. I do that every few months or something. I like to organize them. But I, I realized I had jewelry that I had not bought worn for years, but then I like stones, right? So I
Yeah,
had to
you do.
just,
I know you.
I had ordered all these compartments. So, putting all the rings, and I find some of my really excellent stuff, sapphires. So today I'm having some of that. And just having things in compartments, putting all the jades together, the different stones, and but that was, I just felt good. It was like reorganizing your wardrobe, reorganizing your jewelry, and getting some locked up and things like that. So that was one of the key things I did, and I felt good about it. Then attending the 21st, having that 21st was good.
How beautiful is that? We had two 21st over the weekend, and I missed both. Both. It's so terrible. I missed it, but I heard that was good. By the way, Mimi, I wore the stone you bought for me from Egypt. Everybody, I
Yeah,
literally everyone I got in contact with wanted that.
I've got a few because
So
when I buy things, I buy like 7 or 10 of them. Really,
I
you know
need
me.
to buy, I need to buy for my cousin. I need to pay you for that. And buy. I know you gave me that, but I need to buy for my cousin. She's coming for my birthday from Perth. She wanted it by all means.
Okay, I'll check
She's
what
gonna
I have.
come.
As I said, I
So
just went through.
please
Okay,
bring.
let's
She
talk
wanted it.
offline.
Yeah, it's really nice. And I will show you, Deborah. You see it. I'll show it to
Oh,
you.
yes, please.
Yeah, I
It's
think it's the
brilliant.
peridot. I think it's the peridot, or the
With
was it the one that is peridot? I think with sapphires and other stones, jade,
um,
etc. around it.
yeah, I'll show you. Anyway, this is how we roll. We just talk about our week and we talk about what is happening in our lives. We want
Yeah,
to hear what's happening in your life. Deborah, how has your week? I haven't seen you for a whole week.
I
yeah.
know, right? And
I
that's
saw
not.
you online.
Yes, no, I saw you online too, and yes, it's you're right when I don't see when we physically don't see each other for a week, but we'll
Yeah,
make up for that this weekend, no doubt.
we have to.
So I've been busy, as you know, with my husband getting everything started up for him
Mhm.
in the other business, the cleaning business. So that's kept us very busy. But on the
Wow.
weekend, I had an event to go to, which was over in Clayton.
Oh,
So we decided that we would stay the night. So we stayed at the Park Royal Hotel there. And,
beautiful.
it was just beautiful to
Beautiful.
just spend some time away. And we just really, really enjoyed that.
Mhm.
Just, it's time out of your usual environment.
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful. So we came back on the Sunday morning, but we just drove around. We stopped off at a couple of markets and just really took our time coming home. And we needed that. It was like the rejuvenation that we needed. So that was good. And yeah, so today it's back into it, but we're refreshed and ready to go again.
I'm laughing my head off because Deborah and Mark, they're funny people. They will go to the movies at the outback somewhere and they sleep there. They stay overnight. We will go to watch movie together. I'm like, let's go home. And they go, no, we're staying here. So so this is their lifestyle. It's amazing.
I think
I
it's
love it.
great.
It's beautiful.
Spontaneity.
Yeah, I love it. That's what I like to do too. But anyway. It's good to hear from you and it's good to see you both. Our topic today is the code switching. I don't know if you heard it before, but I want to talk about it because um, I heard it courtesy to Zioni was talking about this, and I'm like, this resonates. And I kept on thinking about it. I'm like, why don't I bring it to the ladies? So for the people that might not know, code switching is when you alternate your language or varieties based on the situation or the audience. Like now, I'm talking to you. Seems as if I'm speaking a little bit of Aussie language and my language. So that's switching, or I speak English, like I might be at a gathering of professional, for example, and I'll be speaking Queen's English, and then I'll get out of the place, I'll say, I will speak my pidgin language, or I will go to, so we kept on switching. And the question they were this somebody was asking, well, why do we switch our language when we get to some forum, for example, that is not necessary? But I'm thinking, for me, I think it would be necessary because again, you're gonna pick me on this. You want to belong, you want to show that you're part of this group. You want to show that, um for example, if you're selling something, you want to be able to present whatever you're selling properly so that people can buy it off you. If I'm speaking my Nigerian English and nobody hears what I'm saying, how are they going to patronize me? So I mean, fitting, people have issues with fitting, whatever. And I also think it's about solidarity, like we're one. We might not be one, but at this time, at this setting right now, I need to try and switch my code or my word in a way that will be receptive to you guys. So I want to bring to you, do you switch code switch as well? For me, I think I do. And I don't think there's a problem. But that's the essence of the show, to hear, three heads are better than one. And also both of you, you've got vast wisdom, vast knowledge, vast exposure. You've got it all, really. Anything that I might need. So help me out, any one of you. Do you code switch?
Deb, do you want to go first? I'm happy.
Yeah, okay. I must admit, when I saw the topic tonight, I was unsure about what it meant. At first, I thought it was going to be about the business that we're in, or it was business related. But now that you've explained it, I tell you what was going through my mind. It's about adapting. It was about yes, that belonging, fitting in. But it's another thing that came up was also about it's mirroring the audience and the people that you're speaking to.
Sure.
And I think this, as you were explaining it, the thing that stood out the most is that I do it, but I don't realize I'm doing it. I will, yeah, exactly. I will adapt to speak and talk to the people at where they're at. And if I feel that I'm not in that space, I use that to listen and learn. So the other thing is in a way it's respectful of the other person also. But it's all about the intention. It's all about your intentions, why you're adapting, code switching, and that is, for me, it would be about that belonging and respect. But I think on the far extreme, it can be not such a good intention. So I just that was what was coming up for me as you were talking, as you were explaining what our topic was about tonight. So it's all those different things. So I might leave it there and then hand over to you, Professor Mary.
I like where you stop. Yeah, good one.
Yeah, I think it's such an interesting topic. And of course, it's a word I'm quite familiar with, especially in the research space. And I'll start, first of all, there are different types of code switching. There is voluntary and there's involuntary. It can be purposeful and intentional, but it can be something that is inadvertently done because you almost like transition seamlessly from one person into another person based on the space. When you think about code switching, and I think I'm going to just give some numbers and some data just because I wrote something not long ago in terms of
Okay.
Black women at work. 79% of Black women at work have to change their behavior in order to fit in. That is detrimental. The evidence shows it is detrimental to their health. 40% of Black female leaders get over scrutinized, get over criticized compared to their white counterparts. And therefore, code switching for a lot of them is not purposeful. It is, and it is not something that is intentional, but they must do it in order to fit in. I tend to say to people, I belong to the 21% who remain authentic. So I don't switch or change who I am. But that does not mean you don't adapt
Come
to
on.
your audience.
Mm.
That does not mean it's a bit like, let's say, you have to dress for the occasion, right? If you're going to a
Yeah.
business meeting, right? You have to show up for a business meeting. If you're going to a party with your mates to hang out and have fun, you have to show up in that space. So what you're going to wear or what somebody who is in their 20s is going to wear to the nightclub is not what they're going to wear the next day to work. Even though I've realized that we're beginning to have this overlap where people don't understand the dress codes in different spaces. So when I think about code switching, I really think about, that intentional space where people have to modify behavior in order to execute what they're supposed to be doing, but it becomes detrimental to their health, to their being, to their productivity, if there is an expectation for particular individuals to adapt in order to make others comfortable. I'll leave it at that.
So I believe that code switching is generally intentional. And I believe that you're not coerced to do it. I believe that if you are coerced to do it, like what you said, then it's going to be detrimental. And I think if I am coerced, I will not accept it and I will fight against it. I will resist it. But I think, like what Deborah said, she doesn't even know she's doing it. And sometimes I don't know that I'm doing it. It just comes automatically, just to, I'm very conscious of the environment I'm in. And I know that I've been in some situations that people talk to me and they believe that I understand what they're saying and they just go on like that. And it does irritate me because even when I'm saying, I beg your pardon, I used to say to people then that I beg your pardon, and they go, oh, sorry, I can't hear you. They said, don't say you can't hear me. Say that I'm the one that's got the problem. I'm not the one that got the problem. You're telling me something that I don't understand. So they want me to say, I don't understand, rather than say, I don't hear you or something like that. So I should point the finger. That's why I think, not to be coerced to do it, like some leaders are putting them down because of maybe accent or their language. Everybody's got accents. Everyone has got accent. And for example, even our children, we that raised our children up in this country, they, they start to tell us they can't even hear us, our children. What are you talking about, mom? I don't understand. When they are, so when my kids were little, I observed one day we went out and my daughter was talking to, one of my girls was talking to somebody and I couldn't hear my daughter. I'm like, who is this? So this girl has been talking to us in the language that she thought we understand at home, using our accent to talk to us. And then she would talk to her friend with this fluent Aussie. I was shocked when I saw that. So that's why I said, listen, if my children are saying, mom, it's not cook. I used to say avocado. They taught me avocado. I don't know how many. I still can't pronounce it very well, but I try. They say I still can't pronounce avocado, or kookaburra. They say it's kookaburra. So there's a way they will say, mom, it's not, so I will say what? Kookaburra. I'm learning it. So if I'm talking to an Aussie now, I will try to say kookaburra. But if I'm talking to my husband, kookaburra, I will change it. I just thought again, I want them to, I want us to communicate. That's the reason why I'm doing it. Um, but the other question
Again,
that's,
that's why I talked about that context, right? The
yeah,
purpose of it, the intentionality
mm,
is so important and essential. And I guess coercion is different because you use the word coercion. And I think for me, it is much more about an expectation rather than being coerced. And this is where people have to adapt to fit in. Because when people are compelled, it is different if it is an expectation of everybody and from everybody.
mhm,
But if it is only a part or some individuals that are expected to modify, for example, or the way you speak, we don't want we don't want people to speak like that. That is because they want you to adapt a particular way of speaking because that particular way is superior and acceptable. Why is your way not just as not acceptable as well? It's not because you're saying something wrong. It's probably how you've been raised to speak. That assertiveness is like when we talk about the way women approach situations and the way men approach them. And
yes,
there are
I was
words, for
just saying that.
example, if a man is doing the same thing, they'll say that he's strategic. If a woman
Mm-hmm.
is doing the same thing, she's
Mm,
arrogant. And if it's
mm,
a black woman, she's
exactly.
aggressive. It's
Yeah.
Mm,
arrogance and aggressiveness. So this
mm,
word, and I think we spoke about something recently, how words matter in those situations, right?
Mhm, mm,
I'm a skilled expatriate to Australia, but then people
mhm,
describe me as an immigrant because I'm a black woman. But somebody who lives Australia is
mhm.
white with limited skills, not half of what I have, lands in the middle of nowhere in Ethiopia, they'll be calling them an expert.
Yeah, they do.
So there
We
is
do.
this language, and this is where nomenclature does matter. And
Mm,
when we talk about code switching, then I think there is a place for it,
mhm.
but
You're
it
you're
should be
you're
for
going
everybody.
somewhere. I love it because maybe the statistics 79% of women, black women. I'm wondering where are the men? Do we have statistics for the men or they don't care?
I am giving it that I'm sure there will be statistics for men.
mm,
However, I think I'm giving that because it's something that I'm familiar with, but also because when I do certain presentations, but I've also written something recently on LinkedIn about as well, because I literally was saying I'm part of the 21%
mm,
publicly as well. And that literally means I am authentic. So my whole approach to it is about authenticity.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
if you code switch and then you decide to become somebody else in order
mm,
to fit in, then
Mhm.
you are a false representation of what
Right.
people think you are. So for me, it
That's
is about that authenticity. And that is why when we think about code switching, there is context, there's intentionality, there is purpose, and also what is the desired outcomes or what
exactly
are the desired outcomes.
exactly.
yeah. And I just want to add to that. When I think back at my corporate career, and that 79% of women that adapt to be accepted in the space that they're in, or I should say, to
Acceptable.
79% of
yeah,
Black women in
yes.
workplaces.
So when I think back at my corporate career, I was very much that I was very much wanting to speak the language they were speaking, have the conversations they were having, even though it was difficult and uncomfortable. In my mind, it was like I need to be this to be at the table.
Mm,
And but however, that there's this intention, there's this um, underlying coercion from self to do that.
right.
Um, and but over the years,
Mm,
because of the not being authentic to self, that comes undone. And that's exactly what happened to me dropping
mm,
out of corporate was that not being authentic to who I was,
mm,
it started to unravel. Um, So it is absolutely, even though the code switching can happen or the adaptability can happen, your own integrity to your authenticity will come through.
Yeah.
And it just depends. It depends on your, I suppose, confidence with self, on how
Wow.
you do that, how you surface from that. So,
Mm.
like I was saying before, sometimes I don't even know that I'm doing it, but then there'll come a time where even I feel uncomfortable in this, in what I've said, and it's because I am trying to adapt to something that isn't authentically me, and then
Wow.
eventually it switches back. But there is still this underlying, almost unconscious behavior to keep adapting, which only conflicts with my authenticity.
Mm.
But then it starts to come out. So there's a lot, actually, now that I've kind of got this self-awareness about this code switching. It does make me self-reflect on a lot of things here. So thank you for this topic.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
So what?
authenticity underpins everything that we do. That's what I think. And this
Yeah.
is why let's take a step and delve into politics, for example, right?
Mm.
You vote
Mm.
people because there is something that or values that
Mm.
align with yours, right? Then that
Yeah.
person gets into office and you wonder if you actually know that person or what they're saying anymore,
Mm.
right?
Mm,
Because they
mm,
completely flipped around, sometimes 180 degrees, right, to what their
yeah.
own values is. And you know, they don't even believe in what
Mm.
they are saying. And that
Mm,
is
mm,
why you need to think about, and that is why people don't last in certain spaces because that
Mm.
trust element is
mm,
lost because it doesn't take long for you as an individual when you interact with people to know that they are not authentic. So
Wow.
authenticity matters.
Yeah. I agree. I see some people, although you can see that they're trying so hard to belong. There's like what Mimi said about changing even their behavior. You don't need to change your behavior, Annie. Even
mm,
if you're trying to speak for them to understand, don't change your personality and your
Right.
person. That is what makes the environment robust. We're made up of our nature and our nurture. How your environment where you grow up. Nobody is going to remove that from you totally. And if you do, you're going to have split personality. You know, so don't try and change your behavior. I see some people that are trying so hard, like a black woman to be white. You don't need to. White don't even want you to be white. It's very irritating. They want you to be, they even say, we like your skin, we like your just be yourself. I think one of the things that is very annoying about this is the color. This it's so annoying when they see you sometimes that you're black. For the girl that talked about this before, she's a Nigerian girl, but even in Nigeria she went to a British school. She did not even associate with any Nigerians at all, like not a lot. White school, she went to white school in Nigeria. Then she lived all over the places with white people. And then she came here, she's switching. And then people are looking at her and said, are you switching? And she said, I'm not switching. This is who I am. So the essence of the matter is because she's black doesn't mean she's switching. Because she's mixed up. She's mixed in her upbringing. She's mostly around the white people, by the way. But how she speaks does not resonate to who she is. And it looks like she's not the same person, but she is. And when she switch, it's smooth. Our own switching is not like my one. That from my one, you can know that I'm just trying. I'm not trying hard, and sometimes it's unconscious because even when I'm talking to people, when I travel overseas, they say, "Oh, don't you live in this country?" I said, "No, no, I live here." What do you mean? They said, "No, no, no, we can hear from your accent." I'm not switching. I was just talking normally, but they could pick it up that you don't live here. So they can say I'm switching. Maybe I am, and I'm not aware, I'm not conscious of it. So I have to be a bit conscious of it myself so that it doesn't look like I'm trying hard, but I'm not trying. I'm actually not trying. But I don't know how to say it, but when I'm in a place, I still think you have to speak maybe slowly, because if I speak too fast, you're probably not going to hear me. And if you don't hear me, what's the essence? And I want us, like I said, to communicate. So I'm not trying hard, but let me bring it to the question that somebody said, that why aren't other people also switching? How come you are it's only the black one that want to switch? Why aren't they switching? So my answer to that is they have the majority of the number. It's their, not that it's anybody's, I don't want to get into trouble, but in Melbourne, for example, large majority of us are from overseas. Majority of people are born overseas. So the land belongs to
60% have
how
a
much?
parent. 60% are born overseas or have a parent or grandparent born overseas. At
It will be more,
least.
at least it will be more.
At
Their
least.
parents
And if
are
you go
overseas.
into no, if you go into particular pockets of Victoria, that number is
Is
significantly
higher.
higher. So
Yes,
it,
and
as much as that is a general figure, specifically in different parts of the state, the
exactly.
numbers fluctuate.
Exactly. So we are all from diverse places, and everybody's got their own. So when you're switching to what? Am I switching to India? Am I switching to English? Am I switching to American uh, or European? What am I switching to? And when they say, do you get appreciated for trying? Like, I will try to pronounce your name, but people can't pronounce my name. So half of the time we change our name, we reduce it, we use the prefix or just to make sure people are able to pronounce our name. But our names generally, I don't know. English name,
Can
we
we
change
say
to English.
something about the names? Because one of the things I'm blessed with is interacting with students who come from so many parts of the world, including local. And the first thing I say to them, because people, they share their name, and it's like, oh, but if that is too hard, call me X. And I'm like, no, I need you to teach me how to pronounce your name properly, the way your parents gave it to you, because it was intentional and they knew why they gave you that name. It means something to them, it means something to you who carries the name. When you switch, and this is where that code switching to fit in. And without going into specifics, there are particular cultural groups who switch their names in order to get jobs. But we also know that if you send the same CV and the evidence, the research has been done that has got black sounding names. The research was done in the US, and
We
white
jump.
sounding names, even with the same qualifications,
Yeah.
white sounding names, even with
Getting
lower qualifications, will have more jobs. And they did, I think it was Stanford, did a similar research, but with people who had a conviction against their name. And the evidence showed a white person with a conviction was more likely to be called for an interview for a job and get the job than a black person without any convictions. Hence, what is the correlation between having a conviction to your name being white compared to a black person with an upright character and status within the society? So, and this is why I say to people, you need to read, you need to expand your knowledge, you need to know the facts so that when they come in front of you, you know what to say, etc., etc. I'll leave it at that.
and we're gonna all leave it at this, but it's a good conversation, and because it just makes you more aware of yourself, of your environment. This conversation will remind you to check yourself. Are you being authentic to yourself, or are you not? And in what context, and for what purpose? I think that's what this is about, and that's why I like our conversation. I'll be mindful now, like I said. um I'm not trying hard. If it seems as if not trying hard, but I just want to be heard, and I want you to hear me. But if I'm trying a little, I expected the other person also to try a little, because it's not just about me, it's about you. Do you want to talk to me, or you don't want to talk to me? I love this conversation, ladies. That's it. We're done for the day. We'll be back here again next week for another topic. It's similar, but it's different. We see you then. Shall we just say goodbye to our people? This is good.
Goodbye,
I'm looking
everyone. Remain authentic.
at the
Yes.
men.
Yes, this has been a great topic. Self-awareness, authenticity.
There you go. Ciao.